What up? It's the real Keith, any other fabrication of your imagination. And I'm back with another record of Ragnarok Apocalypse of the God review, chapter 25 and 26. The chapter starts with Shinigami in a weird position explaining how his technique works. And it reads, Grand Pasta della Mort. The technique requires a countless number of feints that ultimately disguises the final knife hand strike. The Pasta della Mort in a straightforward fight, the surprise attack possesses more than enough power to butcher any ordinary god with just one strike. However, in the fight against a mighty god, one has the capability to react in time. It acts as bait, and thus the true technique is unleashed. One that boasts even more power than the Pasta della Mort, the surefire kill kick, and all that power went up against Emma was rendered completely useless. Now impossible to avoid, he unleashes his own surefire kill, Enra Goken, Emma Karmic Fist, and Emma punches Shinigami from an upside down falling position, sending him flying. But Emma isn't done, he has a follow-up attack. But right when he used it, Shinigami disappeared. And it seems like Shinigami is moving so fast that he is creating after images. He was lowering his speed on purpose, but just enough for the after images to remain. And this makes Emma react to the after images since he can see them. And I'm not gonna even try to pronounce the full name of this technique. It's called the Gala of the Shadows of Death. For an ordinary god, this was sure death, but for Emma, he just smiled. And then Emma came back and used his own after image technique. Now it's a battle of clones versus clones. Emma grabs him by the leg, and Emma says, for someone who started out an ordinary god, no matter how much you train, you still use those cheap surprise attacks. Once an ordinary god, always an ordinary god. You think I'm bluffing? Did you really think those party tricks will work against me? And Emma uses another technique called Enra Rengoku Ken Enma Purgatory Fist, and it looks like he gathers a lot of energy in his right hand and unleashes it. It's a combo attack so fast that it looks like the clones are actually attacking. It reads comments saying that Emma really is that strong. Emma is holding Shinigami's mangled body up. Emma says, that'll do. You get it now for an ordinary god? This is your limit. Shinigami smiles and says, limit, that is the word I hate the most. And consequently, my name as an outer god is unlimited. And we see a coffin, and that's where the chapter ends. Chapter 26 starts where chapter 25 ended, with Emma holding Shinigami, asking him what did he just say, and the next thing you know, it's a big explosion in the background. The source of the explosion was the coffin that Shinigami brought with him. This distracted Emma for a second, and Shinigami asked, can he really afford to be looking away at this time? Shinigami twists his body, and then he puts his knee in Emma's forearm, which caused him to let go of Shinigami. He shifted into attack of attrition, and the reason why nobody in the entire arena would have guessed. This sent Emma flying into a nearby rock formation. It was entirely different from the surprise attacks and feints that Death had been using until that point. It was a complete surprise attack from a different third party altogether. And then we see Death next to a sarcophagus. All the other gods in the crowd are wondering what that even is. The war records contained in the Enra Judge armor, when confronted with this mysterious entity, began setting insistent bells of alarm. And we see Emma's armor kind of like splashing and coming apart a little. And Emma says, I guess even party tricks can be interesting now and then. So that thing is what you had in the coffin. And Shinigami laughs and says, correct, it was quite the effort. As you can see, I couldn't find a coffin that could fit it, so I had to force it in. And Ares says to Hermes, he's gonna ask one more time, what is that thing? And we get a better look at the actual carcass, and it's a crazy looking mummy. Shinigami says he has finally awoken and that it is his divine weapon. Ares asks Hermes what's going on, and he says, a divine weapon that exhibits behavior as if it were alive. I know that a certain number of them do exist. He's definitely talking about Thor. Emma's knowledge allowed him to process the situation with the utmost calm and collectedness. No, rather, all of Emma's cells were warning him that he must keep his utmost calm, because in front of him could very well spell his death, no pun intended. And that's where the chapter ends. Honestly, the series is getting better. It kind of started off kind of shaky because all the fights ended in one attack. Actually, let me rephrase that. It started off as a one-sided battle and the loser beat them in one attack. I'm also glad to see more divine weapons, and this divine weapon is like Thor's hammer and it's alive. But now I'm wondering why they didn't put any chief guards against another chief guard in the brackets for this tournament. It would have been cool to see Raw versus Emma. But that's all I got for you today. For more Record of Ragnarok Apocalypse of the God chapter reviews, and if you like versus battles, like, share, subscribe, and comment. It doesn't cost you a dime while it costs me time. Follow Universal Debates on Facebook and follow my other pages. You might find content there that you might not find here. I also created a subreddit for all the tournament style media like DCKO, 10K Record of Ragnarok, and Majo Tyson, etc. All links are in the description.